Hi.
K-Mile Air 021, wind 170 at 6. Runway 20 right, clear to land.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Small Brain Pilot channel. It's certainly been a long while since my previous video, and I apologize for the delay, but here we are finally today. We're parked here at Kuala Lumpur International Airport, and we're going to be flying this beautiful Boeing 737 BeyondATC special converted freighter for teleport operated by K-Mile over to Singapore. It's going to be quite a short flight, but it's going to be quite interesting because we finally have ATC services for this one. I'm utilizing BeyondATC, and so far my experience with it has been pretty good. Let's hope we have a smooth flight and a butter landing into Singapore. So without further ado, I'm going to hop into the cockpit and get ourselves started for this flight. This video is going to be a bit longer than usual. I'm not going to edit it as much, so it's going to be a bit more rough, as I noted a lot of people wanted longer videos and they wanted to see the process of actually starting up the aircraft instead of just a time lapse. So yeah, I'm going to provide you guys with that. So first things first, we hop into the aircraft. We're going to turn on the battery, and I'm going to go to the flight bag and request the data from SimBrief. Alright, that should load in. Yep, here we go. Kuala Lumpur to Singapore, cost next 30, 207 nautical miles, 738. Alright, beautiful. So I'm going to go down here. I'm going to click FS Actions, Ground Services, and I'm going to get ground power requested. And we're going to wait a hot second. As you can see, there, ground power is connected. So we're going to come over here and we're going to turn on the ground power. And the aircraft is now on external ground power. So we're going to go up here now. Let's turn on the irises, align, nav, align, nav. Alright, and then looking here, yaw damper, we're going to leave that off for now. Fuel pumps, we only need these for no center fuel pumps required, because again, it's only a 1 hour flight, so it shouldn't be that much. And also, just forewarning, I'm not doing everything that's study level. I'm not reading off checklists. I'm just doing what works for me and get the aircraft started up without any issues. So if you're here to watch study level gameplay, it's not. This is just me flying a plane the way I like it, because it's fun. Anyways, so that's on. We're gonna go here. We're gonna turn on. No logo lights needed right now. It's the daytime. Lighting, everything is good. We are gonna turn on the emergency lights, turn on the cabin chimes, and autos for the fasten seatbelt sign. We are going to turn on the window heats, turn on probe heats, hydraulics, and we're gonna set the altitude to 25,000 feet. That's our cruising altitude. Packs remain off, APU bleed remains off, and I think that's the overhead panel set. Next thing we're gonna do is, yeah, let's get the FMC configured. So pause in it. Here we are at Kuala Lumpur. So Whiskey Mike Kilo Kilo. We're at gate Foxtrot 21. There we go. Plug that in. Beautiful. Kuala Lumpur. Flight plan request. SimBrief route. Set payload. Set fuel. Select the route. Okay, and while that is happening, I'm gonna just whip out my scratch pad over here that I have on the side. And let's get BeyondATC services going. So let me just check the frequency. ATC is at 128.050. So 128.050, and hopefully this should work and you should be able to hear the ATC. Yeah.
Level 130. Read back all hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information November. Kuala Lumpur Sepang Airport information November 0510 Zulu. Wind variable temperature 32. Dew point 26. QNH 1011. Landing runways 32 left 33. Departing runways 32 right 33. Transition level 130. Read back all hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information November.
Alright, so let's switch to 128.15
Kuala Lumpur Sepang
now.
Airport information November 05.
That's clearance. So alright, now I'm gonna have the clearance on standby once we're ready for pushback. But basically, yeah, so we have information November. Temperature is 32 degrees, dew point 26, QNH is 1011, so switch to hectopascals, 1011. departure runway is probably going to be 32 right, and transition level is 1300. Alright, so I'm going to call up clearance and get our... Before that, let me just load in the route, because then I can put in the departure. Hopefully we get the departure that I filed. TCAS is off. Need to turn TCAS on as well over here. Alright, activate the route and execute. Alright, route is in. So I'm just going to go with departure arrivals because I want to fill this in now. Alright, let's call up clearance. You're going to hear me request ATC for the first time on this channel. Kuala Lumpur delivery, this is KMile Air 021 requesting clearance to Singapore Changi as filed. Let's see if it works.
KMile Air 021, Lumpur delivery, expect runway 32 right, Rusby 1 Delta departure, squawk 1006.
1006. Alright, so I've written down, let's read it back. Kuala Lumpur delivery, KMile Air 021, expect runway 32 right, Rusby 1 Delta departure, squawk 1006. Okay, I heard the ting from John.
KMile Air 021, read back correct. Contact ground 130.75 when ready for pushback or engine starts.
Contact ground when ready for engine start, KMile Air 021.
Negative, ground on 130.75.
Oops, sorry, wrong read back. Ground on 130.75, KMile Air 021. 130.75. Yeah, I don't know why I I read it wrong. Okay, so 130.75, right? Yeah, 130.75. Yeah, honestly, this is where I love flying the 787 on my test flight because it was just digital, so I didn't have to scroll through the freaking frequencies. But anyways, yeah, 130.75. Let's put that in. So we are departing 32 right via Rusby 1 Delta. Execute that. Looks good. Progress set. Alright, so I'm going to go to Perfinite. I'm going to request Perfinite performance figures. And while that's happening, let's do our takeoff calculations. So head over to the performance tool. We're taking off runway 32 right. We're just going to import this from the aircraft. Import the weather and calculate. Here we go. So takeoff rating 1, flaps 5. Okay. Let me just load the perf in it. Execute. Transition altitude is 13,000 feet here. Cruise altitude, yeah, we're gonna go up to flight level 250. Oh, wait, flight level 250. Yep, there we go. Everything else looks good as is. Okay, so takeoff 1, and temperature is 48. 48. Alright, flaps 5. CG set. Boop, boop, boop. Alright, that should be that. And trim, let's set it to 4.95 for departure. And yep, that looks like 4.95 to me. Alright, with that being said, I think we have the FMC pretty much configured for departure here. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get the APU started up. So I'm just gonna come here, start up the APU. And while we wait for APU startup, I will go down here and set the MCP. So V2 is gonna be 141. Let's set that 141. Heading 32 right, so I'm gonna have to switch this to runway heading. And I think the exact heading at Kuala Lumpur is 325. I don't know, I just have a feeling. And cruising altitude, I'm just gonna set to 25,000. I don't know what our first clearance is gonna be. We will set this once we're actually flying. Again, not actual real life airline procedures, just whatever gets me off the ground and into the air and successful landings. Anyways, now that that is set, auto throttle can go armed, flight directors can go on, VNav armed, LNav armed. Okay, yesterday I tried doing my first test flight with BeyondATC yesterday, and I ended up having a dual IRS failure mid-flight, so I had to return back to Kuala Lumpur. Hopefully, no IRS's failure on this flight. Yeah. Oh, APU is not available to us, so we can switch the aircraft to the APU generators, and we can turn on the APU bleed. So the aircraft is now on APU power. We no longer need ground power. So with that being said, I think we're ready to go ahead and request pushback. So let's call up ground. Kuala Lumpur ground, KMile Air 021 requesting pushback and startup.
K-Mile Air 021, Lumpur ground, pushback and engine start approved. Face northeast.
Pushback and engine start approved. Face northeast. K-Mile Air 021. So as we're being pushed back, we're going to go ahead with engine start. So we're going to turn on the anti-collision light, set this to ground, set ignition to right, and we will observe the N2. N2 is rising. Once this crosses 20, we will throw in the fuel for engine number 2. Set this to progress. There we go. 18, 19, 20. Let's throw in the fuel. Alright, engine number 2 is starting up successfully, and we're pushing back. Oh look, we have a DHL for Air Ghana, and we have a Prime Air 767 here. I'm not running FSLTL because FSLTL and BeyondATC don't have traffic integration yet, so it just looks goofy. These are some of the aircraft, the games, the simulators I just spawn in. Anyways, pushback complete. Let's set the parking brake.
Set.
Tug should be disconnected, and engine number 2 is on, so we're going to turn on engine number 1. We're going to repeat the same process.
Startup is complete. You may disconnect.
Just watch the N2 rise.
Okay, sir. Clear to disconnect. Pin has been removed. See you at the side.
And N2 looks good. Let's throw in the fuel.
Holding position waiting for the visual. Thank you and goodbye.
Alright, as engine number 1 has started up as well, we can go up here, turn on the turn-off lights and the taxi lights. We can bring the aircraft onto the generators. We can bring the packs to auto, turn off the APU bleed, turn off the APU, set the yaw damper to on, turn the ignition back to both. Lights are set. Alright, with that being said, I think we're ready to request taxi. Kuala Lumpur ground, this is K-Mile Air 021 requesting taxi to the runway. Alright, let's see.
K-Mile Air 021, runway 32 right, taxi via Kilo, Alpha 10.
K-Mile Air 021, taxi to runway 32 right via Kilo, Alpha 10. Alright, so yeah, usually I don't have to do a taxi briefing because I'm alone and I don't have ATC, but today I have ATC, so I'm going to have to do taxi briefing. I don't have access to Navigraph charts yet, unfortunately. I haven't bought those, so I'm going to be using the Volanta taxi charts. So Kilo is just straight up on this taxiway, and then we're going to take the second left and then the second right onto Alpha 10. So pretty straightforward taxi here. Let's disconnect the parking brakes and begin taxi to the runway. And with that being said, I'm also going to set flaps for departure. So we're running flaps 5 here. Flaps 1, flaps 2, and flaps 5. So the taxi is pretty straightforward. As I mentioned, we're going to go straight, take the second left, not this left, the second left, not onto Bravo, but onto taxiway Alpha, and then the second right onto Alpha 10, and we should be holding short on runway 32 right. So I'm not going to make you guys sit through this taxi. I will see you guys once we're ready, holding short at 32 right.
K-Mile Air 021, contact Lumpur Tower 119.8, bye-bye.
Alright, as you guys heard, we have been given our handoff to tower. We haven't even made it to the old short point yet. But anyways, I'm going to answer this. K-Mile Air 021, contact tower 119.8, goodbye. Set the parking brake. Alright, let's contact tower. Before we do that, I'm going to turn on the landing lights, turn on the strobes, make ourselves ready for departure completely, and contact tower on 119.8. Alright, 119. It's easier to go backwards. 119.8. Alright, that's tower. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's contact tower and get our takeoff clearance to get ourselves out of here. Kuala Lumpur Tower, K-Mile Air 021, ready for departure at runway 32 right.
K-Mile Air 021, Lumpur Tower, wind variable, runway 32 right, cleared for takeoff.
Alright, that's our takeoff clearance. Kuala Lumpur Tower, K-Mile Air 021, clear for takeoff, runway 32 right. Alright, we're clear for takeoff. Set this to RTO. Flaps are set, trim is set, takeoff clearance is achieved. LNAV, VNAV looks good, flight directors are on. All the lights are turned on. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Let's get ourselves ready to take off from Kuala Lumpur. Alright, here we go. Lining up on the runway. Alright, and let's go for takeoff. Let's bring thrust up. Stable. No issues. Toga. Alright. Power set. Airspeed is alive. Looking good. Hopefully let's have a smooth takeoff here. No funny business. 80 knots. Check. Rotate. Positive grid. Gear up. Alright, that's a pretty smooth takeoff. Could have been much worse. And let's try and follow the flight directors as much as possible. Keep ourselves stable. And outside, that's us departing from Kuala Lumpur. Bye bye Kuala Lumpur. That's terminal, that's KLIA2 right there. But yeah, there you go. Pretty nice departure. Could have been much janky.
K-Mile Air 021, contact Lumpur departure 135.25.
And that's our handoff to departure. Contact Lumpur departure 135.25 for K-Mile Air 021. I'm just going to take this right turn and I'm going to turn on the autopilot. I want to hand fly this, but we have to talk to departure as well. Maybe I can hand fly this and talk to departure at the same time. Let's try that. 135.25. So I'm just going to keep my stick here. So I want to keep that in view. Alright. This is not recommended, folks. 135 decimal. Come on. I can do this. This is sonar protocol 25. There we go. Kuala Lumpur departure, K-Mile Air 021 with you at flight level 038. That is not appropriate terminology, but anyways, we can bring flaps up.
K-Mile Air 021, Lumpur departure identified. Climb to 13,000 feet.
K-Mile Air 021, climb to 13,000 feet. Alright, so we're given clearance to climb to 1,300 feet. So.
K-Mile Air 021, contact Lumpur Control 126.1, have a good day.
Contact Lumpur Control 126.1, K-Mile Air 021. 126.1. 126.1, right? Yeah. 126.1, there we go. Alright. Kuala Lumpur Control, K-Mile Air 021 with you, flight level 270. We should set this down because we're going to have to begin our descent soon.
K-Mile Air 021, Lumpur Control radar contact.
Kuala Lumpur Control, K-Mile Air 021, ready for descent.
K-Mile Air 021, Lily 3 Bravo, runway 20 right, descend to flight level 140.
K-Mile Air 021, Lily 3 Bravo, runway 20 right, descending flight level 140. Alright, let's set that. So arrival, ILS 20 right, Lily 3 Bravo. Let me just do that. Boop. Alright, so we should be at 2,500 at Idwas. So I don't have to descend that fast. I think 2,000 feet per minute would do.
KML Air 021, descend to 8,000 feet, QNH 1011.
Descend to 8,000 feet, QML Air 021, QNH 1011. Alright, 8,000. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have
KML Air 021, contact Singapore approach 132.15.
8,000. Contact Singapore approach 132.15, KML Air 021. So let's contact Singapore 132.15. 132.15. Singapore approach, KML Air 021 with you, flight level 138.
Aircraft calling is a call sign.
Singapore approach, KML Air 021 with you.
KML Air 021, verify information Oscar.
Alright, we should verify information Oscar, KML Air 021. QNH is 1011.
KML Air 021, Singapore approach, QNH 1011, expect radar vectors for ILS runway 20 right.
Radar vectors, ooh. KML Air 021, QNH 1011, expecting radar vectors for ILS 20 right. Radar vectors, interesting.
Negative, runway 20 right.
Isn't that what I just said? KML Air 021, runway 20 right, expect vectors. Alright. A vector approach, I have not done that ever in the simulator because again, I've always been flying alone. And when I fly alone, I just do what I think is best. So this is gonna be fun. BeyondATC is, I think, the best investment I have made for flight simulation. School timing with the
KML Air 021, descend to 6,000 feet.
KML Air 021, descend to 6,000 feet. We're gonna get vector. So far I'm just flying the flight plan. I don't know when the vectoring part of it will start, but I think I just fly it on my own. I don't know. I've never flown this procedure before. Let's see.
KML Air 021, descend to 3,000 feet.
Alright, that's a descent to 3,000. Descend to 3,000, KML Air 021.
KML Air 021, leave Pidus heading 105, expect radar vectors for ILS runway 20 right.
KML Air 021, leave Beidous, heading 105, expect radar vectors, ILS 20 right. So I need to go heading 105.
KML Air 021, turn left heading 075, vectors for the approach.
KML Air 021, turn left heading 075, vectors for approach. Turn left heading 075. Interesting. Let's hope it's not a bug. Oh no, it seems to be. I'll be routed in properly. You need speed brake anymore.
KML Air 021, 7 miles from Idbus, turn right, heading 160, maintain 2,500 feet until established on the final approach course, cleared ILS runway 20 right.
Alright, let me just set this up real quick. 160, return. KML Air 021, 7 miles from Idbus, we turn right, heading 160, maintaining 2,500 until established on final approach, cleared ILS 20 right. Alright, so now we have our radar vectors for approach. Let's descend to 2,500, which we're supposed to maintain until we're established on the ILS.
KML Air 021, contact Singapore Tower 131.4.
Contact Singapore Tower 131.4, KML Air 021. 131.4. Singapore Tower, KML Air 021 with you. Also, I'm gonna hand fly this approach. So, I'm gonna do gear down.
KML Air 021, Singapore Tower, continue.
139. Continue, KML Air 021. Disconnect autopilot. Bring out the flaps. I know we're coming in a bit high, but it's okay. So we've been given the clearance to continue. I have to be really careful here. Don't want to be overspeeding the aircraft. Alright, there we go. Just trying to slow down and also catch the, what do you call it? The glide slope. But yeah, we're coming in a bit too high.
K-Mile Air 021, wind 170 at 6. Runway 20 right, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 20 right, K-Mile Air 021. Alright, we're coming in a bit high, folks. This is not procedure, but I have somewhere to be, so I'm going to try my best to make this landing stick. And we're going full flaps. Alright, we're full flaps now. And completely hand flying the aircraft. A bit unstable on the approach initially, but I think we're coming to be established now. Alright. Again, this is the beauty of flight sim, not real life, so it's okay. A bit of straying from the regulations is fine. Do we have strong wind? No, it's only 9 knots of wind. Pretty calm weather here in Singapore, just have to get us established. We're established on the glide slope, just need to establish ourselves on the center line, and we should be good to go. There we go, stable. Alright, we're coming in stable now. There we go. Okay, we're established on the approach. Need the aircraft to stop finicking so much for me. 2 reds, 2 whites. Take manual control. Auto throttle is off. It's my aircraft completely now.
500.
Alright. Just gently coming in. Need to stay on the center line here.
300.
I'd rather be too low than too high, honestly. I'd rather land with extra runway left than less runway left.
200.
But here we go. And just bring in thrust back.
50. 30. 20. 10.
And there we go. That is a smooth butter landing. Double digits, and only 1.01 Gs. That's a smooth landing, folks. We're slowing down. I'm gonna just bring out the reversers a bit.
K-Mile Air 021, contact ground 127.275.
Contact ground 127.275. K-Mile Air 021. सबर कर जो ना मुझे 5-10 मिनट दे दो मामा अच्छा जल्दी करो I had to do the auto response, maybe that will make
K-Mile Air 021,
yep,
Cargo 505 taxi via Whiskey 7, Whiskey Victor 4, November 2.
Taxi to Cargo 505 via Whiskey 7, Whiskey Victor 4, November 2. Alright, let's go. So, Whiskey 7 was actually the left turn there that I missed. So I'm going to have to turn on my own onto Whiskey. So once we turn on Whiskey, I'm going to then turn on to Victor 4 and then November 2. So yeah, pretty straightforward taxi. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, remember to do leave a like, subscribe, and comment on any other routes you'd want me to do. If you enjoyed this style of video, do let me know. I'll continue to make more. I hope you had fun with the ATC. I definitely enjoyed having air traffic control services for my flight. And with that being said, folks, that's all for today's video. Thank you for watching Small Brain Pilot. Let's ignore me absolutely destroying the taxi line restrictions there. Anyways, thank you for watching the Small Brain Pilot channel. I hope you guys had a good time, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.